Prince William has finally snapped. Enough is enough. He has told friends he will strip Meghan Markle of the HRH title.
It's so disrespectful to Queen Elizabeth II's memory. According to a source, here's the quote, Prince William plans to flex his muscles and wipe his wayward brother Prince Harry and his power-hungry wife Meghan from the history books, it says.
It's official. Meghan Markle isn't just out of the royal loop. She's been erased. No more polite exchanges, no more awkward holiday texts, not even a mention of her name. What was once just tabloid gossip has turned into a cold, calculated move from the highest ranks of the royal family. And the way it's being done? Quietly, permanently, brutally. According to royal insiders, Prince William and Princess Catherine have gone full ghost mode. Meghan's name is now so toxic, so off-limits, that palace staff are under direct orders. Don't say it. Not in conversation, not in passing, not even in jest. She's not to be acknowledged, not even behind closed doors. It's as if she's been wiped from the royal vocabulary entirely. It's a move that sounds extreme until you realize what it really is. Self-preservation. This wasn't about a single scandal or outburst. It was the accumulation of years of stress, back and forths, and public embarrassments that pushed William and Kate to this point. And when Kate's health began to deteriorate, William didn't see this as drama anymore. He saw it as a threat. Sources say the couple reached an emotional breaking point. Catherine, already battling serious health concerns, found herself re-triggered every time Meghan's name came up. Emotional distress turned into physical exhaustion. And with that, William made a decision he once never imagined: total cutoff. This isn't petty avoidance, it's about boundaries, hard lines drawn to protect what little peace remains inside the royal bubble. Imagine being in a palace surrounded by legacy, tradition, and protocol, only to feel like you're living inside a soap opera. That's what William described to a close aide, according to a leaked insider report. He was tired of defending, tired of reacting, tired of being dragged into Meghan's storm. So he shut the door. Quietly, firmly, without discussion. Kate supported the move fully. Her silence on the matter wasn't passive. It was protective. Sources close to her say the emotional damage Meghan left behind was deeper than the public knows. And so, the couple moved on. Together, but only by erasing a chapter of their past. For a family that lives under a microscope, silence might be the most powerful weapon they have. And in this case, they're wielding it with precision.
Wanting to exploit their royal titles, I think it stinks. And I think what King Charles should do, he should just strip them of the titles. Let them go off and be, celebrities, that's fine. But don't do it in the name of our royal family.
Beast has reported that King Charles is turning a blind eye, but King William won't.
But this has been Meghan Markle's MO from the beginning. She wants all of the privileges that go along with an identity, but she doesn't want any of the responsibility. She doesn't want to do any of the work. She wants the tiara. She doesn't want the public service.
Prince William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles.
The only thing HRH stands for in association with Meghan Markle is her ruthless homewreckerness, I guess.
Prince William will strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles when he becomes king.
Growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired.
This cold shoulder didn't come out of nowhere. It's the result of years of public and private tension building up like a pressure cooker. The infamous Oprah interview? That was just the spark. The real fuel came long before. Subtle digs, off-the-record grumblings, and private slights that turned into public scandals. The royals, always masters of quiet diplomacy, suddenly found themselves blindsided on the world stage. Accusations of racism, claims of indifference to mental health, allegations that the palace failed to protect Meghan, all aired with emotional weight and no warning. Then came the Netflix series, a carefully packaged PR bomb dropped on Buckingham Palace's doorstep. The docuseries painted the monarchy as cold, outdated, and even cruel. Every episode chipped away at decades of carefully built reputation. Meghan wasn't just telling her story, she was rewriting theirs. Inside the palace, the atmosphere shifted. What had once been viewed as a difficult personality became something more dangerous, a disruptor. For Kate, the wounds were personal. She had remained silent through it all. But when Meghan publicly claimed Kate made her cry, it struck a nerve that insiders say she still hasn't forgiven. It wasn't just the accusation, it was the betrayal of private moments turned into televised ammunition. Layer by layer, the trust unraveled. Meghan and Harry stopped being viewed as family members and started being seen as liabilities. Every interview became a minefield, every appearance a threat. The divide was no longer just emotional, it was strategic. Royal aides reportedly began drawing up containment plans, how to manage the Sussexes without engaging them. They weren't just being iced out socially, they were being isolated structurally. And what the public saw as an explosive story of love versus duty, the royals felt as a slow-moving coup, one that had to be shut down before it reshaped the crown forever. What the world called drama, the firm now calls survival.
But it's hardly a secret that the palace has already conducted secret meetings with members of the government to discuss putting the plan into action.
Charles might be happy to put up with this, but William won't. He loathes and despises Harry and Meghan with every bone in his body. He believes they have betrayed everything the family stands for.
The royal family at this point in time, after the Oprah Winfrey interview, Spare, and the Netflix series, want nothing to do with these two people. Do we really believe that the royal family was trying to trap them in the UK?
The real shift happened when Prince William stopped thinking like a brother and started acting like a future king. After Harry's controversial BBC interview aired in May, insiders say William saw red. It wasn't just frustration, it was fury disguised beneath royal composure. He reportedly told his inner circle, "This ends now." He didn't just want Meghan distanced, he demanded it. This time the gloves were off. And with King Charles's health allegedly in decline, William's influence behind the scenes had never been stronger. Senior aides, once loyal to the old guard, were now quietly taking direction from the future monarch. This wasn't about family anymore. This was about preserving the institution, the monarchy. To William, Meghan wasn't just disruptive. She was dangerous, too unpredictable, too media savvy, too willing to air the crown's darkest secrets to the world. And in a system built on discretion and legacy that made her a threat to everything they stood for. Royal sources say William began drafting what's been called the Do Not Engage Protocol, a total disengagement strategy. No reconciliation, no appearances, no contact, not even public acknowledgement. Inside those palace walls, Meghan became a ghost. What makes this moment even more striking is the shift in William himself. This is the same man who, years ago, was known for his open-heartedness, the prince who protected Harry from paparazzi, who quietly extended support during the early stages of Meghan's royal life. But watching the monarchy be turned into a global reality show, that changed him. He began to view the silence not as cowardice, but as control. And Meghan? She became a lesson. In his view, this was no longer a family conflict, it was a royal security measure. And it was non-negotiable. If you're wondering why the royals haven't clapped back publicly, that's the point. Royal biographer Angela Levin says their silence is intentional, tactical, and incredibly frustrating for Meghan. They've realized something important. If they respond, they give her fuel. If they stay silent, they starve her platform. It's the ultimate psychological play, and it's working. While Meghan may be used to media attention, to controlling the story, she's now met an opponent that refuses to engage. This isn't a war fought in headlines. It's a war of erasure. No acknowledgement, no commentary, just absence. And the twist of irony, Meghan used this exact tactic on her own family, cutting out her father, her half-siblings, even close friends. Now, the royals are returning the favor, quietly, powerfully, permanently. The palace isn't the only place closing doors. Meghan's influence outside the royal walls is crumbling too, and the fallout is spreading far beyond Buckingham Palace. One of the most damning signs came from Vogue UK's Edward Enninful, once one of her most vocal and loyal champions. When Meghan guest-edited Vogue's Forces for Change issue, it was hailed as revolutionary. But behind the scenes, it was reportedly chaos. Sources inside the publication say staff were walking on eggshells. Meghan's demands were endless, her mood unpredictable. What started as a creative partnership quickly turned into damage control. One editor described the environment as exhausting, stifling, and always on the edge of a meltdown. It wasn't collaboration, it was control. Meghan had final say on nearly every aspect of the issue. And when something didn't go her way, she allegedly became dismissive and cold. Even Enninful, a figure with immense power and reach in the media world, eventually distanced himself. Not with scandal, but with silence. And Enninful isn't alone. Meghan's circle has steadily shrunk. From celebrity stylists and makeup artists to senior Netflix producers and brand partners, a growing number of high-profile collaborators have walked away. Some cite creative differences. Others refuse to speak at all, but the message is the same. Working with Meghan is no longer worth the risk. Even those who once praised her public speaking, activism, and ability to connect now remain tight-lipped. The charm offensive has lost its spark. The brand, once glittering, now feels brittle. The pattern is impossible to ignore. Meghan builds relationships fast, strong, intense. But when those relationships stop revolving around her, they fracture. It's not just a PR crisis anymore, it's a credibility collapse. And behind the polished photos and curated press releases, a long list of former allies now say, enough is enough. In Hollywood, image is everything. And Meghan's? It's starting to crack. Studios once eager to work with her are now second-guessing. Former supporters have gone silent. She's no longer the fresh face of royal rebellion. Now, she's viewed by some as high-risk, high-maintenance, and unpredictable. Media outlets that once fawned over her are shifting tone. The same magazines that praised her elegance are now reporting diva rumors, failed projects, and behind-the-scenes drama. The magic, it seems, is wearing off. And in an industry built on charm and influence, once that glow fades, doors quietly start to close. The Meghan Markle media machine isn't just slowing down, it's sputtering. Then there's Harry, still dangling in the middle of two worlds. Unlike Meghan, he hasn't been completely exiled. Not yet. There's still a sliver of hope inside the royal family that he might find his way back. But that hope comes with strict conditions. No more leaks, no more tell-alls, no more media grenades. If Harry wants a seat at the royal table again, he has to abandon the chaos that's followed him since stepping away. And that means leaving Meghan? It's the question no one dares ask out loud. But everyone in royal circles is thinking, not as a demand, but as a silent reality. Because as long as Harry continues to double down on defending every move, every interview, every accusation, he remains on the outside. To palace insiders, he's no longer the young prince trying to protect his family. He's now seen as a strategic threat, one whose loyalty lies not with the crown, but with a narrative. And that narrative? It's become Harry and Meghan versus the monarchy. Even King Charles, who reportedly funneled millions to help the couple transition out of royal life, has been painted as cold and distant. The gratitude, some insiders say, never came. Instead, what followed was a best-selling memoir filled with private details and bruising revelations. The contradiction was jarring. Private support in exchange for public criticism. And yet, despite it all, there's still a door open. Slightly. Some within the firm believe that, given enough distance from the media spotlight, and possibly from Meghan, Harry might eventually realign with his roots. But the longer he stays in the current dynamic, the harder it becomes to separate his voice from hers. What used to be his own struggle, grief, press trauma, duty, has been absorbed into a joint brand that thrives on tension with the palace. And while Meghan built that brand with calculated intent, Harry may now find himself trapped inside it. Each time he speaks out, he burns another bridge. Each exclusive, each documentary, each emotional reveal pushes him further from the family he once called home. The palace doesn't hate Harry, but it can't trust him. And unless that changes, silence may be the only connection they still share. What began as a fairy tale is ending like a cautionary tale. Meghan once captivated the world, the American actress who married a prince, broke traditions, and spoke her truth. But now, the story has changed. Insiders describe behind-the-scenes tantrums, staff walking out, mood swings that left teams scrambling. Even her loudest supporters, from Oprah to Enninful, have grown quiet. It's not just the public that's pulling back, it's the people who once stood in her corner. What once made her a symbol of empowerment is now being seen as manipulation. What once felt like breaking barriers now feels like burning bridges. The silence isn't accidental. It's deliberate. And perhaps that's the real heartbreak. Not in what's being said, but in what's no longer worth saying. Meghan Markle isn't just being ignored, she's being systematically erased. Quietly, deliberately, without confrontation, but with finality. She built a global platform on being heard. Now, the silence surrounding her is louder than any headline she ever made. And while some may see this as harsh, others see it as the royal family's ultimate boundary. No spectacle, no rebuttal, just complete disengagement. For Meghan, the most painful part might not be the exile itself, but that it's happening without her involvement. No conversations, no closure, no last word. The chapter ended, and she wasn't even in the room to read the final page. This isn't just a personal cutoff, it's a cultural shift. The palace is sending a message to the world. Even a global icon can be muted if the chaos outweighs the crown's stability. And for Harry, the time to choose is running out. The bridge to reconciliation isn't built on apologies, it's built on silence. Total, committed, and clean. Some insiders believe he still has a path home, but it would mean unraveling everything he's publicly defended, everything they've built together, and starting over, alone. The monarchy has survived wars, divorces, abdications, and betrayals. It will survive this too, because at its core is one unshakable belief. The institution comes before the individual, always. And that's the reality Meghan Markle now faces. The royals have made their position clear. She's out, and she's not coming back.